Welcome to the floor.
God, I wish I was starting draft 3. That would be so cool.
I don't know. Until my legs fall off.
I just finished Act 2.
Let's romanticize the journey. I have to keep hoping that it's just getting better. Hey, welcome to the vlog. I hope you've had a great week. My name's Carrie. I'm writing a sci-fi trilogy. We are in the middle of book 2. It's a mess. Anyway, if you're interested in that, stick around. The journey is crazy. Hey, welcome to my noisy kitchen. I'm on my walking pad, so I figured I'd update you. What was the last thing we said to each other? I think I was working on chapter 26. No, last time you saw me, I was drafting chapter 27. Here's where we are. I believe chapter 27 is the end of Act 2 because I think I need to double check and make sure that I didn't misplace a scene. I think that I've managed to condense and make things, squishy. And so things are where they're supposed to be, and I can get this act done in 12 chapters instead of 15. That could mean that we've chopped a good bit of words, which I think we have. I think I cut 4 or 5 scenes that just didn't need to be there. As fun as they were, they didn't need to be here. The world is a place full of demons. I've got coffee. Let's not fall off the treadmill now. Work today was crazy. It's 4:30 on Monday, March the 30th. I watched Lord of the Rings yesterday. I just did 2 Towers through to Return of the King. Makes me cry every time. And my poor husband just doesn't know what to do with me, honest. So that was all the information that should have happened before I lost my train of thought. So chapter 27, consensus. That's the other thing. Bro did end up blowing up the yacht. I think it works. I don't know. I was just going through this morning and listening to chapters from Act 1, and I'm like, oh dear God, this isn't good. Having some distance is crazy because I'm listening to my own reading and I'm just like, whoa. Just the improvements from chapter 1, Act 1 to chapter 26, Act 2, where I'm noticing, oh, that can definitely be better. That needs another run through. It's discouraging, but it's encouraging all at the same time. So I think that definitely is a sign that I need to shelve beta readers for now because I need to just go and edit what I have where I can for free and then pay someone after I've really feel like I've reached the tippy top of what I could do on my own. Does that work? I think that works. That kind of puts that off for a while, which is unfortunate. And I think that shifts my timeline. So we have 1 day left in March. I will be done with Act 2 by the end of March, which is amazing, which means that in April, April 1st, I get to start Act 3. And I'm not going to think about it because April 1st is April Fool's Day. And I'm not going to take that to heart. I'm just going to believe that no one is going to play a joke on me. And we will be starting Act 3 on April 1st at the very least. I think I kind of want to go through and do a little bit of locking today. I'm going to finish drafting 27. I want to do a little bit of locking. So I want to do a read through, make sure that I have things to a place where I like them ish. Just say Act 2 is pretty much good for draft 2. I have a feeling that draft 2 is going to need, once I'm done, I have a feeling that draft 2 is going to need a whole nother pass before I start draft 3. And I get to start thinking about that now, which is exciting. So yay me. I think that's the update. I think it is. It's very all over the place, but I think I'm going to walk and work down here for an hour. I don't know, until my legs fall off. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
I just finished Act 2.
Yay! Now we're gonna edit some more. Read through. Let's go. Charge. Hi. Thought I'd hop on and let you guys know. We finished drafting Act 2, which is crazy. That's exciting. Basically, I know that Act 3 was super rushed when I wrote it. So I'm pretty convinced that Act 3 is going to be kind of rough to go back through. I'm going to start it in April 1st. We're going to start drafting draft 2, Act 3. I want to say I'll be drafting that through May. Let's try and set that goal. Let's try it. We'll see what happens. I think it will take a long time. Honestly, I do. But how I'm feeling about Act 2, where it stands, is definitely an improvement. I'm going back through some of the stuff that, I'm going back through the act as a whole and just kind of editing it down, deleting paragraphs, trying to make things better. But I feel like I keep changing some of the same stuff over and over again, adding words, taking taking away that word, doing a third read through and going, no, I need that word, and putting it back. Can anyone else relate to that? But hopefully things are improving. I have to keep hoping that it's just getting better. I feel like it is, but sometimes I just can't tell. It's like trying to see the forest through the trees. Overall, I feel like Act 2 is technically better than Act 3, Act 1. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to spend the next 2 days kind of reading through and editing. I think today I ended up on chapter 18. So I did 2 chapters when I was downstairs. Well, 16, 17, yeah. 2 chapters. I'm just going to continue to go through this and try to be strict with what I keep. There are some things that I solved, issues that as I went through the act, they kind of ironed themselves out. There are a few things that I can tweak to make them plot-wise better. So there's that too. I'm keeping my eye out for those things and getting friendly with the delete button. Anyway, I'm going to try and get some headway through chapter 18 before bed tonight. But like all in all, very full Monday. I didn't film a ton, but like I did chores. I consider that I worked out. I did the coffee errands, picked up the coffee beans, the cold brew. I think all that's left tonight is to read before I go to bed. I'll let you know if that actually happens because that would just really tie my night up with a nice bow. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let my camera charge. It always needs to charge. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. How exciting. Okay. Bye. New camera angle unlocked. Welcome to the floor. I was just doing some push-ups and then I realized how tired I was and that I didn't want to stand. So I brought you down here with me. Hello. So last night I was reading through Act 2 and not gonna lie, Act 2 starts on chapter 16. Chapter 16, little rough. I was kind of going through and making edits and I was like, dang, this isn't my best work. So trying to shore that up. And then I read chapter 17 and I felt the same way. I was like, dang, this isn't great. Not my best work. And then I read chapter 18 and 19 and I was like, oh, well, that's nice. I don't know. I think I unlocked some sort of flow in chapter 17 and 18 that just made sense. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember those 2 chapters being easier. They clicked. I'm noticing a pattern, I guess, is my point. And I don't know how to fix it. What do I do about this? Okay, is there something to be said for this phenomenon I've noticed that really I only have one repeated cycle? I've just noticed it. I don't even know if it's a legit thing to worry about. And then if it's something that needs to be fixed, how? What's the problem? I don't even know what the problem is, if there even is one, right? Okay. So I'm curious to see as I continue to read through Act 2, what else I will discover about how I feel about certain chapters and my memory of how long it took me to write them and how easily I felt like they flowed or how good I felt about them once they were finished. I think it's going to have an impact. I also feel like I edit better when I am in a flow. So different kind of flow, like a workflow. I'm in a writing session and I work uninterrupted and I'm going from scene to scene and it's laying out, the tone stays through. So however many chapters that I can read through and edit in one sitting, the better off I am. So I'm going to try and manufacture that today. We are looking at, it's 4:00. I'm going to see how many chapters I can get through in 1 hour. And I'm hoping I can get through 2. And then I'm going to try and do some work up here. And then when I'm done up here, after an hour, I think I'll move to my walking pad and do more work on my little walker. I'm tired. I walked a lot yesterday and I just tried to do some push-ups because my upper body strength has been waning and my core strength has been waning because I've been slacking. Just trying to move my body, trying to move the blood to my brain. And I'm going to do my best to lock in for the next hour and we'll see how it goes. I am excited. I'm excited. Tomorrow is April. You remember how I was oh yeah, I'm totally gonna start drafting Act 3 tomorrow. That's the April Fool's joke. It's the joke of the century. I don't know. It could still happen. I'm not going to say it's not, but it is unlikely. Why do I do this to myself? I don't even know. Okay. Also, I didn't read last night. Almost did, but then I got really sleepy. What happened was I got carried away because I thought I was only going to get through 1 more chapter and I got through 2 more. So, okay, let's do. Stop talking, go do. a late start on the day. It is Friday. It's Good Friday. Yeah, it's Good Friday. So I'm gonna tell you what has been transpiring, and I'm also going to get ready while I'm doing that. And we're gonna catch up. Hey, it's been a minute. And by a minute, I mean like 2 days. I just have been kind of off the wagon for like 2 days. First things first. You know how I said on April 1st, I'm gonna start act 3. God, I wish I was starting draft 3. That would be so cool. Not there yet. We're in act 3. Okay, so legally I did. I labeled a page, made a new doc, started the header, chapter 28, act 3, and then that's where we stopped, which is pathetic. I know, very pathetic. I apologize, but that's just what ended up happening. I started editing a video, but didn't get very far. This is important because it's Friday. I want to post a video on Saturday and I've barely started on it, but I did, start. And then I got assigned some reading for work, and the deal is the book is borrowed, and you guys know how obsessed I am with books. So I am gonna buy my own copy, but I don't have time. I need to have it read. I read 100 pages yesterday, a little over 100 pages yesterday. I'm going to finish it today. The struggle with that is that I need to learn something from this book. It's training in a way. So I actually need to pay attention and take notes, and it's not all totally new information, but there are things that I need to remember that are new, and so I'm taking notes. It's a very practical book. It's very great, but that means I'm engaged with it, and typically if I'm reading something to learn, it takes me double the amount of time to actually absorb what it is. Because it's a different skill. Reading fiction, totally different situationship up in the brain. So my approach to this book is different, but I think I'm gonna try and read it all by this afternoon. And that's a little nuts, but I'm gonna try it. 2 o'clock. I'm gonna try and have it done. I say that now. Don't know if it's gonna happen because within that time I also want to eat some lunch. I don't know. And then I can't, again, it's a borrowed book. I can't spill on it. I don't like spilling on books anyway. Don't get me wrong. It's not my book. So if I spill on it, it's kind of a big deal. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk and read. Then I will move to my desk and edit a video. A lot of my plans for today do not have anything to do with writing, which is okay. Because if I can get these tasks done and down pat, whatever I have going on this evening, I can arrange, but I just have to be kind of locked in. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to make my girl dinner, ramen, and then eat and read. And so yeah, probably not a lot of writing is going to get done. So technically the last time I wrote was Thursday. I'm in a good place. Everything's fine. I don't feel like I'm behind. Because I'm not. I'm exactly where I want it to be, which is done with Act 2 by April. I am done with Act 2 by April. I just want to finish the read through. But I don't strictly have to do that. So it's written, it is drafted. That is the important thing. Feeling good and happy about that. So, but does anyone else ever just kind of go through what you're reading, what you're writing, and you go this is so bad, this is so dumb? I know I'm not the only one who does that, but it really is balls, because I can get really good at convincing myself that it's bad and dumb, and that might be the truth. And I think that's kind of how we manage to convince ourselves so easily that it's worse than it is, because it might actually be true. There might actually be some serious oh my god, this is bad situation going on, but who knows? I have to keep reminding myself that this is a learning process. This book is one step in the journey to the book that gets published, to the book that finally makes all my dreams come true, right? And I know it sounds like it, but we are not on the set of My Little Pony, and it's going to be a really hard time to get there, and it's not going to happen this year, and it probably is not going to happen next year. But the journey. Okay. So romanticize the journey. That's the whole point of this YouTube thing, is here to romanticize the journey. Here's to enjoy the learning and the process and all the friends we made along the way. Teehee. Okay, so it's okay if it's actually bad, because it doesn't have to be good. Not yet. If it's not good, it will be good when I'm ready to make it good. When it's time, it will be. And that's because I cannot outrun the plan. Things will happen when they're meant to, and that doesn't happen by accident. So there you go. Okay, do I want to put my hair up? So let's go make some ramen, finish reading this book. Like I said, only about 100 pages left. So totally doable. Okay, let's go. And today my time at the office made me want to light my hair on fire. How's your day been? Good? Good. It is Monday, April 6th. I haven't checked in with you guys in a few days. I've filmed little clips here and there of just me doing my thing, but I haven't talked about it. Haven't talked to you. So that's what we're gonna do. We gotta backtrack a couple days and kind of cover all the bases. And I think I would like to do this in a little bit more of an engaging way. So stay tuned. Hope you don't get motion sick. Here we go. Okay, first things first. It's April. So that means we have a new goal spread. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. I wanna get through half of Act 3. Now, I wrote this before actually opening Act 3. So, that was very ambitious. I'll explain why. Finish reading through Act 2. I can already check that off because I did, in fact, finish reading through Act 2 and did some like preliminary edits, kind of like, not so much line edits, but yeah, line edits, just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Easy things that I could see and fix, I did. Also on my goals today, I want to post 2 YouTube videos at least, which I think I'm slotted for 3 this month, but who knows? Read 2 books, and I'll get to that. I think I know what books I want to read just to get through, honestly. And then as far as like hobbies and things that are not writing related, I would like to play some Minecraft and I would like to pick up knitting. In March, I colored pictures and did something else that was not book related. So I'm gonna try and work in like 1 or 2 of those things every month to just be a more well-rounded individual. Okay? Okay. That is what we're shooting for this month. Are you excited? I'm excited. April is going to be crazy. Yeah, so April's just gonna kind of be a crazy month and it's really gonna test my patience, apparently. So, you know, unsurprising to a lot of people who are on the author tube space, AI is a hot topic. It's a sensitive button to push with a lot of people, and there's a lot to discuss, a lot to be very nuanced about, but I think everyone here can understand that my general disposition is get that thing away from me. And I just sat through an hour-long meeting talking about said piece of technology. And so I had to go to the bookstore to chill out because my face, like the faces I was making was so severe, and like the strain to keep my eyes at the front of my face instead of roll back into my head has caused a mild headache. I'm not even lying. I went to the bookstore to relax, to chill out, to like take a breath, take a beat. So I'm gonna talk to you about those books. Like I needed any more books. Do you guys see this? These are the 2 that I ordered to match the rest of the set. And then this is the stack of books that like either keeping or getting rid of. Like I need to start that. So like I needed any more books. Like I needed to expand my TBR. You know, I'm gonna wear my tinfoil hat a lot today. Part of the reason that I like having physical copies of books, even though they're expensive, even though they are heavy and take up space, and it is, in my opinion, a luxury item. Like unless you're getting a like thrift store book, like it is a luxury item in my opinion because they are expensive and I think they're worth the money, honestly. The reason that I love having physical copies, I have some scientific reasons why, but I also have just like a tinfoil hat reason why. And it's because once you have a physical copy of media, it is no longer subject to change. And I'm just gonna leave that there. So let's talk about the books that I got at the bookstore today. Are you guys excited? I was just holding up this Steinbeck. I don't remember if I talked about it earlier, but I went to the thrift store recently and I picked this guy up. It is small. I'm going to be reading East of Eden, I think this summer. And I think that this will give me a little taste of his writing style and things like that. And I think it's small and I feel that I could be easily able to really understand it before I get into something that's more intense. Or at least that's my perception of East of Eden, is that it's intense. But I think I really want to make that a summer thing. But speaking of Steinbeck, this caught my eye. I've never heard this book title before. To a God Unknown. Never heard of it. Just thinking without reading anything else about the book, without reading the synopsis, I thought to myself, what an interesting precursor to East of Eden. Pulled that out of my ass. I don't know if it has any parallel or if it's just about a guy dealing with existentialism. I have no clue. So, you know, I figured it would be an interesting idea. So it's going to be a very Steinbeck year. Read 2 books in the month of April. If I stay diligent, it will be these 2. Do I need to finish a few fantasy reads? Yes. Yes, I do. But like, these are calling my name. So we got Play-Doh, Dialogues of Plato. I don't know a ton about Plato. I want to change that. I have Plato's Republic, which is a recommendation from none other than Pierce Brown himself. I feel that if I'm going to read Plato's Republic, I should also familiarize myself with some of his other works, essays and conversations, whatever it is that you call the musings of a dead old man. I feel the need to be made a little bit more known about that. I just want to have knowledge for knowledge's sake. Okay. Along that same vein, Sophocles. Mostly I just want to know about the fox. Sophocles is a lovely character in Red Rising. You know, the highlight of Red Rising. Truly, it's not totally true, but I would love to know the historical figure that inspires the jelly bean eating fox. Complete plays of Sophocles. So didn't know he was a playwright. Can you guys see that this one needs some knowledge, needs some context? So what do? Do we chat GPT it? No, we read original sources. And scene. Thank you. And then some lit fic that comes highly recommended by some of my favorite gals on the internet, Chris and Mads. I've heard them talk about it in at least 7 videos in the past 12 days. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I, who have never known men, had to do it. I had to do it. It sounds fascinating, so I must. And I'm not a lit fic girly. I really am not. I'm not even a philosophy girly. But I think that we have control over who we want to be. And so I'm going to become that girl this summer, this spring, whatever. I buy books and then I get so excited to read them. And it takes me a while to get around to them. I eventually do read what I buy, and I never regret that time spent. So this is the haul. Wish me luck. This stack does intimidate me. I feel that maybe I'm not smart enough for these books, but like I said before, I think we have some control over who we are, and I want to be the girl that reads and comprehends these kinds of pieces of fiction and work and history and all that good stuff. Just pray for me. Okay, Houston, we have a major problem, and that problem is Act 3. So Act 3, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, oh, April Fool's Day is a good day to start a new thing. I should have known. That is the joke. It landed a little bit late, but I should have known from the beginning that I would not start that like I wanted to. Yay me. Anyway, I didn't do anything. I just decided to skim chapter 28, which is the next chapter. We're starting Act 3. Skim it and just start drafting. I don't know what came over me, but all the brain cells had left my body because I completely forgot what needed to happen before I started drafting, and that was to get a grip on what's happening in Act 3, because it's been a while. Act 3 is a dumpster fire. I don't mean that as in all of it is unusable. That's not true. There are some majorly important plot beats that are covered in Act 3 that are great. And there are large sections from what I've read so far of what I wrote during Nano that are really great and that I do like and that I will keep. I underestimated severely the domino effect of the changes that I've been making in Act 1 and Act 2 and how that will affect Act 3. Act 3 is going to be slow, even if I work on it every day. That's not a bad thing. It needs a facelift. And so I'm trying to wrap my head around Act 3. As often happens around this point in a novel, I am asking myself, what is the soul of this place, of this book? What is its soul? Where are we going? Where are we ending up? I am reminded yet again how difficult it is to finish this particular book when I don't know what's happening in book 3. I still have a lot to discover about book 3 and where I want to end up. I have some general ideas. I have tonally and thematically things that I want to explore, but I don't know where this ends for my characters. I don't know what the resolution of all this mess that I've started. I don't know where that is. And so part of me feels that I need to discover some of those things before I finish book 2. And I've also started to think, okay, am I good getting draft 2, which is basically just a big revision? Am I good stopping book 2 at draft 2, putting it on the shelf, letting it simmer, instead of doing a draft 3, try to get a first draft of book 3. So after I'm done writing draft 2 of book 2, I put it away and noodle and work on an outline and get a first draft of book 3. Because once I have the whole picture of everything, how it fits together, I think then is a good time to go back through the series. Oh my God, that's so much work. I don't know, but I think I'm also doing that thing where I'm thinking too far ahead and I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna want. I don't know where I'm gonna be by the time I hit the end of this draft. So many things are subject to change. There's a lot of really exciting things that happen in Act 3. There are a lot of really amazing, like just exciting things that I have loved writing. And I do think there's some good meat, excuse the analogy, but like I do think there's some really great meat for me to sink my teeth into as I finish this novel. It's just, as a whole, we have some work to do. A lot of work to do, and it just feels at this moment how it felt last night, just very daunting, which leads me to where I was last night. I am guilty last night. I really looked at Act 3, and as I was like, I kind of came to, because I was drafting that chapter and I realized what I was doing was just writing what I already had, but tweaking it a little bit. Like when I say I came to in the middle of it, I really do mean I came to, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? I don't know if this is anything that I even want to keep. Like I hadn't even fully read the chapter yet of what I had already drafted. I didn't consult the outline. I just started drafting, and that was like a major whoa, chica moment. That's when I realized that Act 3 was a mess and that I needed to actually really go through in depth and probably put a new outline for Act 3 that implements changes that are needed and all that good stuff. So I was like, we are not ready to draft Act 3, unfortunately. So as much as I wanted to on April 1st, as much as I wanted to last night and the day before, we were just not ready. We're just not ready. Not ready to just straight up draft Act 3, right? Okay. And then I got on that whole tangent about book 3, right? And so I ended up drafting 350, not very many words of book 3. And here's how this normally works when I'm noodling with an idea. Just a scene, an image, a thought, a conversation. I may not know where it belongs in terms of scope and sequence, but it exists. It is an image. It's an idea. And it does sometimes come out a little bit out of nowhere, just what's inspiring me at the moment. And slowly those ideas and those things build and become this cohesive whole. And then I'm kind of ready to kind of outline my way through that and line it up with plot beats and things like that. And sometimes the scenes that I noodle with, I don't keep. And they don't make it into the final draft. They don't even make it into the canon of what happens. But they do help me get a feel for what this next book is going to be about and what I want to write. And so that happened last night, and it just kind of popped out of nowhere because I was thinking logically, where will we be once the events of book 2 are said and done. And I had the obvious, thought and that sparked an image. And I didn't even know whose point of view it was from at first, but that just kind of, as I started to write it down, kind of what I was looking at, what I was visualizing, as I started to describe that, I figured out who was seeing it, what they were thinking and feeling, and who else was in that scene with them. It's not a complete scene, it's a snippet, but the first 350 words of book 3 exist. They exist accidentally, but it is exciting because I haven't had anything really. Anyway, that just kind of felt important to document. That happened kind of out of nowhere last night. So, and normally I wouldn't do that, but because of where I'm at in my process with book 2 and how I'm feeling about this draft, it's I do kind of need to know sort of where I'm going more and more the longer I spend on this. And so it was okay, an hour, 35 minutes. I don't even know how long it took me to write it. Not very long. However long it took me to draft that scene, or that snippet, I should say, was worthwhile time to help me kind of put me in that headspace and kind of give my mind permission to start thinking ahead, because I need those ahead thoughts, if you catch my drift. Now we're here. Cheers to that. So now we're here and we're ready to kind of talk. What are we doing today in the year of our Lord 2026? April the 6th. What does that look like for us today and now? And I unfortunately do have a lot of chores to do. I have at least 3 loads of laundry sitting on my couch right now that need to be folded. Laundry that I expect to wear tomorrow and the day after that. So that sort of needs to get done. Yay me. I'm also hungry, so I think I'm gonna make myself a snack. I think I might pop some popcorn and coconut oil. Have you ever done that? It's delicious. But I think the plan today is really to noodle around with Act 3. And I've already kind of started doing that. I've got chapter 28, I've got some notes, and already and this is when I realized it was honestly writing this conversation. I was like, oh, this is terrible. I hate this conversation. And then I was like, wait, stop drafting. You need to chill. I need to kind of go through these chapters with a little bit more of a fine mesh comb. And so I kind of did a lot last night. I went through several chapters. I think 3 or 4 chapters. I want to open this up and tell you more precisely. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on the 6th chapter. If I highlighted the header in green, it means that I felt like it was mostly good to go. And if I highlighted it in like this weird mauve color, it needs some changes. And so I've just kind of been going through this draft 1, act 3, and leaving comments on what needs to shift, what needs to change, what I like, what I don't like. After I'm kind of done with that, I will need to zoom out. And I don't know, I might kind of do this as I go. I'm going to kind of feel it out. As I think of solutions, I will definitely jot those solutions down as they come. Really, right now, it's just what do I have? What am I working with? And then what needs to happen to improve those things? And then I think what will be the next step is the sticky note wall kind of situation, because that really helped me move through Act 2. Maybe I blacked out, but like, I think I kind of already had, like with Act 2, it was just a couple of really big shifts that made that chunk of story work. With Act 3, it's longer, but the chapters are shorter. So there's a lot more chapters. 28 through 48 is what I have on my whiteboard. A lot of those things will get condensed, I have a good feeling, but also these chapters are significantly shorter in this chunk of text for some reason. That number will go down likely. Today is going to be, just kind of a lot of reading, honestly. But I think I'm going to give myself a cap on how much reading I'm going to do. I think I'm going to allow myself time to do other things. I'm going to hit a lot of things really hard in April, and I don't want to feel like I'm burning out. I don't want to feel like I'm not being productive. So I need to strike a balance this month. Dear God, productivity and rest, because this month is going to be cray-cray. But I also feel that this is a month where I really want to refuel my creative cup before the summertime, when I'm spending a lot of time reading while I'm suntanning. I'm trying to love future Carrie and give her some space, some juice to get into that. So I don't want to be burnt out on things. If we want that, we need to be ready. I'm gonna try to be healthy and like move my body. So like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna crash out. Come along with me. April is gonna be a mess. A lot of excitement, a lot of dread, a lot of hard work. And I'm feeling motivated. I am feeling motivated. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, but I'm a little motivated. I need to remind myself that the overwhelming parts of my life are self-imposed, and that rolling over is not what I should do, but it is the temptation. And so even though these are self-imposed things, they are good for me. Here we go.
Hey there, this is Jesse. Welcome to you who decided to listen to my album for whatever reason. I wanted to say thank you for listening.